All right, top of the morning, top of the morning. Rep your city, rep your city. You know how we do. We got Oakland in the building. We got Miami Lakes in the building. Ooh, cutie pie. Shout out to everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Salute to my mod, Quaylen, always on top of the square. We got Fresno in the building. Yes. We got South Africa in the building. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters in Africa. We got Richmond in the building. Japan and Asia. Okay. I mean, you're just supposed to rep where you at, okay? Where you at. You're not in Japan, Asia, and all those places, okay? That's trolling. All right, let me get rid of that. Rep your city is what we told you. Rep your city. Okay, you're trolling. Okay, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. We got Atlanta, Georgia in the building. Daniel, I'm going to unblock you, but you got to behave yourself. We don't do trolls, okay? We're full grown adults. So let's get it going. It's been hard for me to put together my graphics for this because some of the chat GPT and other things I use, they keep saying it's uh, against policies. Like it's anti Haitian or something like that, which is not. We're going to get into that. Okay. This is not for the purpose of promoting hate. Okay, let's get that straight early. None of these conversations about Haiti is for the purpose of promoting hate. I am covering Haiti because if 300,000 or even 200,000 people are deported, that would be historical. And I want to be commentating on that particular historical event. So that's why I am watching Haiti deportation close. I think it's the biggest story out here, bigger than Roland Martin being played with from the back, allegedly, supposedly. I don't cover gossip, so what do you want me to do? I don't cover gossip. Oh, I would be bigger than life now, because Pharaoh C, you know, you got to respect my gangster, because I don't cover gossip. I'd be the biggest, okay? Oh, I'd be the biggest if I did gossip, but they don't. So once again, this is not for the purpose of promoting hate. I do not dislike Haitians. I don't know any Haitians. I'm in Chicago. We don't have any interactions with Haitians in Chicago. I think most Haitians in Chicago just are black working people. You probably wouldn't know they were Haitians unless you talk to them. We don't have a Haitian community. We don't have Haitian flags and like that here. Chicago doesn't have those type of ethnic communities. And one reason we don't have ethnic communities because Chicago's a major city in the United States. People move a lot. And so a lot of people used to live in Little Italy, don't live in Little Italy no more. So it's no longer Little Italy. And when you move, anybody's going to move in. So Chicago is America for sure. We don't do the weirdo stuff. And the only way you can have an ethnic type town if it has some type of benefit for the entire city, like Chinatown or like little village where the Mexicans are at, because they bring, a certain type of food and they have a tendency to be very respectful. Mexicans in Chicago are very respectful. We have gangs with the Puerto Ricans and blacks and stuff, but it's not like L.A. It's not out of hand like that. We don't have ethnic gang banging and all that. Shout out to the Mexicans in Chicago. But the Haitians, we don't have like a Haitian area. I think most Haitians live in the surrounding suburb cities or small cities around Chicago. So I'm not anti-Haitian. I don't have any beef with Haitians. But immigrants in 2026, going on 2027, I think immigrants got to change the way they've been functioning around the world. So we're going to start there. It says, when in Rome, do as the Romans. Right? So the problem immigrants are going to face is that immigrants are bringing their life and their country to other people's country. To me, that's a violation. And so if I want to leave the United States and go live in Japan, to me, it doesn't make no sense for me to go and put up a bunch of red, white, and blue. To me, it's disrespectful. To me, you're a fraud. Because why did you leave your homeland if you love it so much? So to me, it's disrespectful. And so to me, if you have to flee Haiti, roll your Haitian flag up. If you have a big cultural holiday, fine. Like the Mexicans on Mexican Independence Day. Okay, cool. Like the Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Cool. But to come to a country and begin to make the country look like your country, nobody's going to like you. Because nobody wants their country to look like your country. And this is not your country. This is not Haiti. This is not Jamaica. This is not Nigeria. This ain't Uganda. This is not your country. You are living in someone else's country. You must carry yourself with respect for that country. Because when you carry your country on your back, common sense, everybody's going to want you to go home. So if you're so Haitian and that's all you are, and you're not an American, you got to get out. you should be deported to Haiti or sent to Africa or sent to wherever you're trying to turn the United States into. And I agree with immigration and the government, everything. You're not going to turn the United States into your country, period. Now, we could do this the nice way or we could do this the hard way. This whole thing, immigrants all over the world are going from different countries and ruining countries. This is happening worldwide, where people are fleeing their country, but still bringing it with them. And I don't understand how you flee something but bring it with you. To make that make some sense. It's disrespectful. It's totally disrespectful to bring it. At one time, that was treason. Yeah, at one time, raising another flag up under the flag of that country, yeah, that was war. That was like an act of war. You couldn't do that. You couldn't go to England and raise a flag from France. You can only carry that flag if there's a contingency of you are going to visit the King of England, and then you move with the French flag to let everybody know you're diplomats, you're going to see the king. But you couldn't just go to England and just post a bunch of flags from France. Like, come on. You know what will happen to you? But now, this younger group around the world, you're just too disrespectful. They should make that illegal. That should be illegal. It should be illegal to fly a foreign flag. Seriously. That should be illegal. With a heavy fine and eventually deportation to that flag. Wherever that flag from, you know, if it's me, I'm sending you where that flag from. I'm telling you. You get a fine. I might give you 2 fines, but 3 strikes, you out. I'm going to mail you to that flag. Wherever that flag say, that's what we sending you. On my soul. It'd be some law and order around here if I was running things. I wouldn't take all that disrespect and all that country hopping and all that disrespect posting your flag in somebody else's country, but your country sucks. But you love Haiti, but you left Haiti. Nah. So it's like if you leave your country, leave your country. For example, if you come to my house, I say you can stay with me. I pick you up at the train station. We pull up to my house. I get to my side door, there's a rug there. I take my shoes off. I walk in the house. Now that you're going to be staying in my house, you got to take your shoes off. You can't come in my house and do what you was doing at your house. I'm just like, come on. You're not at your house no more. You're at my house. Now you got to go by the way we live in my house. You cannot come in my house and live the way you live in your house. Especially if you left your house. Make that make some sense. If you left Jamaica, obviously Jamaica didn't do nothing for you. So why are you waving that Jamaican flag? Why are you waving a Jamaican flag? There's no way I would move to Jamaica and walk around with a USA flag on. And I ain't doing that. A flag for some type of movement, fine. Movements are international. But representing your country in another country, to me, that's out of order. It's disrespectful. And of course, the people from that country, they're not gonna like you. Who gonna like you when you basically disrespecting their country? So when you're in Rome, do as the Romans. And let's get into this situation with the Haitians and the ending of TPS holders. Now, they're definitely going to let some Haitians, as absolutely necessary, stay. But the Haitians got to go back to Haiti. You know, once you make a deal, the deal is the deal. Now, some people is saying let the Haitians stay. Listen, for those that don't do business, temporary protective status is a binding contract. And when you sign a binding contract saying, I'm going to come here, I'm going to stay 5 years, the 5 years up. They say, you know what? Things still ain't no good in your country. You can stay another 5 years. Say, okay, you stay. And when that's up, they say, you know what? Things are a little funny. You can stay another 3 years. And then they say, okay, you know what? Your time is up. You got to go. You got to go. It was always temporary. You knew it was temporary. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I want to be permanent. That's not what your contract says. Your contract says you only had a 3-year extension. So I'm really trying to, especially young black men, listen, black men, y'all got to learn what contracts are. Contracts are contracts. Contracts are not willy-nilly. You can't just do whatever you want to do. Young brothers, listen to Pharaoh. If you go down there and that judge have you sign a piece of paper, man, in a criminal case, and you don't do what you signed you're going to do on that criminal case, bro, you're going to prison, okay? I don't know what nobody told you, but somebody done told you wrong. There is nowhere, especially in the United States, that you don't have to abide by a contract. And the Haitians had a contract that has expired. Now, they're making themselves look bad because they trying to do some poor black backwoods country stuff. Listen, this is a contract between you all and the government. What part of that y'all don't understand? And why y'all didn't make moves to do something before the contract expired? This is where Haitians is in the fault, 100%. Every Haitian in this country that's on TPS has got to get kicked out. You out of line. You foul. I don't have no sympathy for you. You were supposed to get up off your butt and do what you need to do before that contract expired. You just laid on the contract. And it say expire. And then black people around here feeling sorry for you when you had a contract that told you, I can see if they said, oh, you can stay till 2028. And then 2026, they popped up and said, we changed our mind, you got to get out. I could see that. But if they tell you got to get out in 2026 and you sit there all them years and then they come throw your ass out in 2026 and you didn't do nothing. You didn't make no other preparations or nothing. First off, I don't want you here. If you are that slow and you sat there and you had a contract with the government that was going to run out and you didn't make no kind of move to improve your life, you definitely are bad for America, for sure. All you Haitians that didn't make some type of moves, you are unprofessional, okay? Bye. You cannot help this country if you couldn't make your moves to get legal citizenship, if you sat there on your butt, unprofessional, slow. Bye. How could you help a country when you can't even know how to be a professional, help yourself? You're obviously unprofessional. Some people say smoochers, leeches, right? You want to eat off somebody else's plate and you want to wait till they throw you out before you start complaining, right? They said, we're not lying. ICE rated. Well, too bad they didn't get you. I'm just, when they get you, hit me up from wherever they take you, okay? And you know what I'm saying? Because I don't got no sympathy for you. I'm telling you. You had plenty of time to make arrangements. You didn't make no arrangements. Bye. You didn't make no arrangements. Bye. While you trolling me, you should have been out there getting them to get legal citizenship. So you should be ashamed of yourself. Was you bothering Haitians like you bothering us? Was you out there telling them to make their changes? Was you out there pushing it? No, you wasn't. You were sitting there with that look on your face you got right now, doing nothing. You didn't help the situation. You didn't help nobody get no legal status or nothing. You sat there on your butt till it ran out. Bruh. Nobody cares. I don't care. They got to go home. Let's talk about caring. Let's talk about caring. Let's say you are Haitian and you want me to care for you, right? Because you got to get out in 2026. Now, I'm just asking, if you wanted me to care about you having to leave in 2026, wouldn't you start getting me to care in 2025? I'm just saying. Realistically, I can see caring for you. But if you wanted me to care about you being kicked out in 2026, would you wait till they're kicking you out? Or would you start getting me to care for you before 2026? Or would you make? Either way, the people of Haiti will survive. I don't want you not to survive. I don't want you not to survive. Yeah, you're kind of trolling. I don't want you not to survive. I don't want nothing bad for you. See, Shabaka, Foundation for Black Americans are not one throwing them out. That's between you and the white man. You and the white United States government made a deal. Your friend. Because you Haitians, you really don't deal with us. Do I have to go there? Like you Haitians, you don't deal with Black Americans. All this crying to Black Americans now, we never hear from y'all. You all are not active dealing with us. So the idea you crying to me now, I never heard from you. I never had no red, white, and blue flags over here. You never messed with me. Foundational Black Americans all across this country will tell us Haitians never dealt with us. So you foul crying to us. Why are you crying to us? We don't know you. We have no relationship with you. We don't owe you anything. We don't know you. You're not our friends. We have no diplomatic ties, no kind of way. You've been off to yourself. So you got to deal with it yourself. All of this fake, now you're black. Now you're black. Like this guy. This guy never watched me, never cared about me, never cared nothing about my content. Now all of a sudden, he's a great supporter. You too. You too. I don't really know you. You're phony. You haven't pushed for Haiti to not get thrown out last year, Shabaka. You should have did this last year. Yeah, you should have did this. You should have did been on this last year. You're definitely a person I wouldn't want to do business with. No last minute Louis. You are last minute. Now you thinking posting this stuff is gonna help? No, bruh. Now you trying to pretend we against Haitians when Haitians never dealt with us and we don't got no dog in the fight. And here we go with this fake black stuff. Every time something happens to these black immigrants that don't deal with us, then they jump back on us like we got something to do with it. They never talk to us. They never deal with us. We have no relationship with you. We don't know you. You never help us. When have Haitians made any noise for us? When have you seen Haitians out with flags on our behalf? Nigerians, Jamaicans, Ethiopia. When have you seen any of these blacks in the diaspora? When we going through trauma, when have you seen any of them say anything? Bro, I ain't never seen you say nothing on our behalf. Well, then go talk to your Haitian friends. What you telling me for? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pan-Africanism is trash. That's why. I changed from Pan-Africanism when I found out the Africans wasn't on shit. Pan-Africanism is trash. So yeah, I dumped Pan-Africanism. It was trash. Once I seen the Africans don't get along and Pan-Africanism was just a word, I dumped it. There's no such thing as Pan-Africanism. What is Pan-Africanism? 40 different tribes in Nigeria? Europeans and Arabs running North Africa? South Africans throwing other Africans out? That's You want me to get involved with that? Pan-Africanism, the key is Africanism. If Africa is trash, then Pan-Africanism ain't gonna go nowhere. Africa, the big brother, the big mama, and Africans ain't on nothing. Africa ain't on nothing. I don't deal with Africa. So pan your ass to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking to me. Go talk to the Africans. Why you ain't telling the Africans to help the Haitians? What you telling me for? It's a billion Africans. Go troll African a YouTube page. See, you're phony. I'm a black American in Chicago, right? 50 million blacks in Chicago. He talk about Pan-African, but he ain't trolling no Africans over Haiti. He trolling the 50 million. Just let that sink in. He say Pan-Africanism, right? Haiti's going through a crisis, right? He trolling a black Americans, only 50 million. He ain't trolling no Africans. In the meantime, Africa countries have did a contract with Trump to lock them up. You understand? Yeah, meanwhile, African countries have did a contract with Trump to lock Haitians up. And all that internet, all that, bro, you got to do that stuff in person. Because, listen, the difference is you watching me. You watching me. I'm not watching you. So, go find somebody who want to hear what you're talking about. And good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Good luck. Go find somebody want to hear you. Your name ain't Shabaka and all that. I don't want to talk to no fake dude over there. Bruh, you got your panties all up in a bunch? Hey, go figure it out. Go figure it out. Like all that name calling and all that, you're not my friend. There's a whole bunch of Pan African YouTube channels he could go to. And then barking on the internet when he ain't built like that. Barking on the internet. He ain't even built like that. Bro, you're a typist. You know what I'm saying? This is all you do. You're a typist. I don't know. I don't know. I don't deal with that. What do we need to make first contact in our own country? So, this is the type of foolishness going on. But the Haitians knew their time was running out. They got extensions after extensions after extensions. And this is what they run to all the time. Blacks all over the world. Foundation of Black Americans, we don't get no aid and assistance from no blacks. But every time something happened to them, they run to us. And now they can't believe that we sick of them. We're not saving them no more. We're not doing that no more. This whole thing where you use foundational Black Americans, you never aid and assist us. You don't see none of these people. That dude that just left over here, I bet you he haven't posted reparations for foundational Black Americans one time. I bet he ain't stood up for our reparations. I bet you that. Haitians ain't standing up for our reparations. A few Jamaicans are, I give it to them. Ain't no African standing up for reparations for foundational Black Americans. Not no African country. The Africans over there trying to get reparations over there in their country. They over there in Ghana trying to steal reparations. The slave sellers, the one that sold the slave. You don't see no black people speaking up for our reparations. And if something happened to us, they'll laugh and they'll try to move into our territory. I'm telling you. A lot of times I think black immigrants, they hate us out of jealousy. I believe that. Because this man came over here, he never liked me. He never liked me. He just over here trolling because he don't got no voice and he don't got nowhere for his message to get out. So he trying to use me to put his message out. Then when I tell him to go stick it up as you know what, now he mad. Now he talking, yeah. When it ain't nothing but a bus ticket or a plane ride, just pop up in the shot and get it all said with your chest, which I ain't gonna show up. I ain't gonna show up. Don't nobody come here calling me talking about you on some street. Come on, let's meet up. I'm not, no. You just gonna be standing your ass out there. If I want to go to prison, I could have went to prison on my own. Well, I'm not going to prison playing with no losers. You know what I'm saying? The hell wrong with you? Boy, I'm not coming to see nobody. You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? No, they not like us, but I'm not against the brothers and sisters. I'm just saying, I'm not against the Haitians. I'm just saying the Haitians ain't for me. The Haitians ain't for me. No blacks is. Not that I've seen. No blacks are for us. Look when the hurricane hit Jamaica, how Jamaica was disrespecting foundational black Americans, show their true colors. We don't got no friends. The only friend we got is white American. That's a fact. The white American is the best friend of the black American. I'm one of the few people got the balls to say it. And the white American government know throwing out immigrants benefit black Americans. They know getting rid of Haitians and getting rid of all these black immigrants benefit us. They know that. You think they don't know that? You think they don't know y'all crowding us? Y'all taking away opportunities? Y'all taking away opportunities? Y'all crowding us? They see y'all like brothers and sisters. Y'all come over here on the black card, but you don't be black like that. Come over here talking all that black stuff. If you was that black, you'd be linked in with the foundation of black Americans. Haitians ain't linked in with us like that. So how black are they? How black are you black immigrants? Because to me, you ain't black at all. To me. To me, black immigrants is sellouts, traitors, and can't be trusted. Not all of you individually, but your nations. Because you can remove foundational black America and y'all don't even work together, y'all, without us. Take us out the picture. Do black nations work together? Do the black Caribbean people work together? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Do blacks in the Caribbean work together? Put it in the chat. Do they? Just remove us out the whole black diaspora picture. Do the black diaspora work together? Take us out, because they always want to say we the ones need to work together. If you take black Americans out the picture, do the black diaspora work together on their own? No. And they try to use us for a scapegoat. They don't even work together. Like, listen, call us when y'all get y'all shit together. Look, black diaspora, get together, fix yourselves, and when you get it together, then call us. But as long as y'all don't get along with each other, don't talk to me about getting along with me. That's fraudulent. How you gonna get along with me when you in the Caribbean, you don't get along with the other people in the Caribbean? Think about it. How Jamaicans gonna get along with us when they don't get along with blacks in the Virgin Islands, blacks in Trinidad? They ain't doing nothing together. I mean, they ain't doing nothing together. They ain't making no news. And the Chinaman down there running Jamaica. I'm just saying, the Chinese run Jamaica. I'm just saying. Look, man, the Jamaican flag ain't even being made in the original color because they're being made in Taiwan. Do you hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Watch this, y'all. Because the black immigrants won't smoke. Big Fred will give you smoke. Now look at these pictures. Now you see some of these flags is gold, and you see some of them is yellow. Okay. The gold is the real color. The yellow is the one that Taiwan get made in China and Taiwan. So if you go to Jamaica, you're going to see a lot of the yellow ones, because Jamaicans don't even make their own flags. They get made in Asia, and they send them yellow instead of gold. Facts. See the Bob Marley? See the Bob Marley? See the yellow? That ain't made by black people. You see the flag? See all the different colors? If you go to Jamaica, None of them souvenirs is made in Jamaica, as Muda Baruka say. They're made in Taiwan and Tai 2 and Tai 3. Shout out to Muda Baruka for exposing that. On my soul. Don't buy no souvenirs from Jamaica. They not from Jamaica. Them souvenirs is from Taiwan, Tai 2, and Tai 3. As Muda Baruka say. Yeah, Muda Baruka say them gifts you buy in Jamaica made in Taiwan, Tai 2, and Tai 3. What Muta Baruka said. And you buying it thinking you buying a Jamaican souvenir that's made in Taiwan. And it ain't even the right colors. So everybody mad because we trying to focus on us. We trying to focus on us. And it's good because blacks around the world been using us for many, many years. They've been using black Americans. They've been using us. Serious. And now you can see the hate and everything coming out. When you see the brothers got the 154, you can see the hate. You can see the stuff they saying. You can see Godfrey flipping. And he been grinning and smiling in our face. And you can see them flipping on us. They never liked us anyway. They was always jealous. We was always Joseph. Remember, Joseph was thrown in a hole. And so people found him and took him to Egypt. And Joseph became big like the president. And his brothers were starving, and they came to the great country that Joseph was in. And Joseph said, go get your daddy and come back. And they found out that was the brother they betrayed that had to feed them when they were starving. Tell me that's not the story of the foundation of Black America, where our brothers threw us in a hole and left us in the U.S. in slavery. Didn't no Jamaicans come save us. Didn't no Haitians come save us. Didn't no Africans come save us. Africans once sold us. But as soon as we fought out of that hole and built ourselves to be a great, mighty nation, they all run to us, but with the same hate in their heart. They ain't changed. They ain't changed. We did well, and they begging, but they ain't never changed. They ain't never changed. I've been on the scene, reggae scene and stuff, and them Jamaicans didn't really, really like Black America. They really didn't really believe in Black unity like that. I mean, they sung it in a song. But as soon as there was more money singing One Love to a European audience, they dumped all that Black music and started singing love for everybody. That be love, 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 be love, be love, be love, be love, be love, love, be loving everybody, and they love, love, love. One love is all we need. Oh, I said, what's that? Where'd the militants go? Soon as they got some money and they start dating Becky and stuff, they start singing love, love, everybody got to love. I said, that what happened to the revolutionary music. You see, dudes say, I remember you used to be Pan-African. Yeah, Pan-Africanism didn't pan out. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad. Don't be mad at me. Hey, they be mad because I dumped Pan-Africanism, which I wasn't really a Pan-African, but I would be on the Pan-African scene because I always been a spaceman, right? And my teacher, Sunrise, he didn't like Freedom Boys. He didn't like that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I used to be around that type of stuff, but I wasn't 100% my philosophy, but I did feel like Black people could be together. But Black people uniting around the world really is not Pan-Africanism. It's global Black unity. So I was more in the global Black unity than Pan-Africanism. I knew that all Black people couldn't fit in no damn Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that. I knew we was into we wanted Africa to be free But Africa being free is not really Pan Africanism. Pan Africanism never really got defined. If you look at Pan Africanism, it really doesn't have a definition. Seriously, look at it. There's no real definition of Pan Africanism. Facts. It's just a concept Garvey came up with, but it never amounted to nothing. There was never no clear parameters or a definition of it. But those of us that really be global, we knew you can't fit South America in. You can't get all the South Americans to Africa. We knew that. So Pan Africanism to me was always, I was more into abolish apartheid and stuff like that. And people called it Pan Africanism, but we was always about free Mandela, and abolish apartheid and stuff like that. I wasn't really into Pan and no Africa. Not really. I'm a spaceman, so I never really. Some people say that. I remember when you was a Pan African. If you go back and look at all my old stuff, I ain't never posted or preached no Pan African stuff. I talked about what's going on in Africa, and I still do that. I still talk about what's going on in Africa, but I never really was no Pan African. Not really, because I'm a realist, and I knew the Egyptians control Egypt. And so, what you mean Pan Africa? You don't run Egypt. So if you don't run Egypt, you don't run all Morocco and all that. What do you mean? I'm militant. Pan Africans is ideologists. I was more militant. Just for people that's watching me, I don't gotta explain myself, but I never really was a Pan African. You know what I'm saying? Not really. I supported Africa. I supported Africa. I recognize Africa for having lots of natural resources. Like I still on that. Africa still controls the world, but that's an economical mentality, something that Pan Africans they don't have an economical mentality. That's why Pan Africanism sucks. That's why a big Pan African can't open up a school in 13 years because Pan Africanism is dusty and broke. Always have been. They ain't going nowhere because they don't got no concept and it's not a real ideology of Southern Breeze. There's no Pan African, active Pan African concept or movement. You know what I'm saying? If you look up Pan Africanism, it's going to show you Marcus Garvey, the last Pan African 1,000 years ago. Let's take a break. There's no Pan Africanism, y'all. That doesn't exist. You can't transfer no 50 million black Americans to Africa. And so once we start really looking at the numbers and got more into the computer and more into the future, we seen that was like a weird pipe dream that they was trying to sell. Delineation is what we standing on. And the crazy thing about delineation is they already all the other blacks have already delineated us. And so when you see other blacks act like they mad at delineation, they mad that we separated ourselves, but they wasn't mad when they separated us. They've always separated us. Blacks globally had already delineated us. That's a fact. We was never accepted in no black global nothing. They just mad because we doing it on our own now. But they never really dealt with us. What we ever got from the diaspora? Name me one thing we ever got from any Caribbean island or Africa. Name one thing they ever sent us. Name any type of charity or any type of well-being we ever got from any black people anywhere. We've sent all them millions and billions of dollars. They ain't never sent us nothing. Yeah, we should have delineated. Yeah, we should have delineated when I was a shorty. Straight up. We should have never messed with them, but we didn't have the information. So that's why we can't second guess ourselves because we only had newspapers, stuff like that. So we didn't really have international information to know to make good decisions. When I came up, you couldn't make the decisions you can make now. You wouldn't know nothing about Nigerians. You wouldn't know nothing. You just knew they was over there, but you couldn't make no honest decision like you can now. And so now people see that we got more information and now we making decisions based on updated information we got now. They want to say, well, you used to didn't know nothing. Why you ain't saying what you used to be? You know what I'm saying? It's like because we didn't know nothing like we know now. No, they never gonna hand it out no more because they overran it and ran it in the ground and was scamming and stayed forever. Just laid on it forever. That's why. That's why. You know what I'm saying? So FBA, we always taught to act like the black diaspora are our brothers and sisters, but when black immigrants come to the US, they don't act like that. They become competitors. They constantly telling us we brothers and sisters. And y'all ever notice when black immigrants come to America, do they act like they brothers and sisters? No. They don't, they ain't no, if they are, they the worst brothers and sisters ever. So how is foundational black Americans gonna be Pan Africans when they meet Africans and find out Africans ain't know nothing? You understand? Africans destroy Pan Africanism because when people met Africans, they said Africans ain't Pan Africans. And Pan Africans still trying to push Pan Africanism, even though they see Africans ain't Pan Africans. That's what you call a fool. How you pushing a concept for Africa that Africa don't even accept the concept? And they just had xenophobia in South Africa. You talking about Pan African? So South Africans ain't even. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy nut stuff. So they want us to get on there and stand up for the Haitians. But I don't know no Haitians. Ain't no Haitians never did nothing for me. And the Haitians had a deal between the United States government, and the United States government gave them more than enough time to fulfill their obligation. They had a legal contract, and the legal contract is binding, and the contract is up. And I got a responsibility to teach young black people. Listen, don't let nobody fool y'all about the situation with the Haitians. The Haitians was under a contract. The contract got extended and extended, and the contract has ended. It's just that simple. The agreement has expired. It's business. It's international, but it's business. They don't have the finances to take care of you no more. Right now, I'm gonna show both sides. We keep it a billion. I ain't gonna hide nothing because I want you all to know the facts. All right. The benefits of the Haitians. Rather than posing an economic burden, Haitian temporary protective status holders generate a net economic benefit contributing an estimated 5.9 billion to 6 billion annually to the US economy and paying over 1.5 billion in taxes. Economic and tax contributions. They pay 805 million in federal and payroll taxes each year. They pay 755 million in state and local taxes each year. Include roughly 200,000 workers actively participating in the U.S. labor force. Critical workforce roles. They fill vital staffing needs with 1,500 agriculture workers. They provide essential care through 1,300 nursing, 13,000 nursing. They have 15,000 agriculture workers, 13,000 nursing assistants, and 8,000 home caregivers. They support key sectors like transportation, manufacturing, hospitality, and construction. Now, this is what a lot of black immigrants, they don't know this knowledge. See, if anybody was paying attention, they started bringing over Ukrainians and South Africans. They're going to give all those jobs to white immigrants because the Haitians never became Americans like black Americans did. So the government wants Americans. They don't want you to be here and still be no Haitian. So they're going to throw all the black immigrants out. Trust me what I'm telling you. They're going to throw all of them out. They're going to throw all them Africans out. And they're going to replace them with whites that will become Americans. See, when the whites come here, they're not going to stay Ukrainians. They're going to be Americans. When the whites come in from South Africa, they're not going to be waving those South African flags and say they're going to be white Americans. The Haitians never became black Americans. Yes, Mexico has forced Jamaicans out because they don't become Mexicans. When you go to a country, you have to become that. You can't go to a country and still be representing your country. Because then they're going to say, well, go to your country. For example, I got a friend. He need a place to stay because his house flooded and the roof fell in. He ain't got no money to fix it. He come stay with me. The whole time he stay with me, he talking about how great his house is. His house this, his house that, his house this. While he's at my house. At some point, I'm going to be like, you need to go home to your great house. This is what the black immigrants do. The white immigrants, when they move to come to America, they become that. Now, in Europe, White immigrants make the same mistake. That's why they have problems in Europe. Because white immigrants in Europe leave Germany and go to England and still be trying to be Germans. And when they get too much Germans, the British is like, you got to get out. This is not Germany. This is why they have so much problems in Europe. Because they move into somebody's country, but they don't become a countryman. They try to bring their country to somebody else's country, which is a military threat. This is what blacks in the diaspora don't understand. When you come here and you stay a Haitian, you become a military threat. You got to go. Because you're another nation on another nation's soil. You're a threat. They're not going to let your numbers get high enough to start causing problems. They're going to get you out of here because you're going to start causing problems when there's too many of you. Look in Europe right now. Europe's having that problem right now. Africa. All these brothers talk about this diaspora stuff. Africa right now is having that problem. Where Africans is coming from other countries to this country and bringing their country there and destroying their country. Right now, they had to throw Africans out of South Africa for the very thing Haitians was doing here. It's the same thing. Look it up. I got somebody going to come tell me something about Africa. You can see Shorty, he don't study. Because Africa not doing Pan-Africanism. Africa is throwing Africans out. If you're not from here, get out. They just banned that female singer because they threw her people out the country. She from South Africa. They threw the Nigerians out of South Africa, and when she went to Nigeria to perform, they banned her performance. Jamaicans have destroyed, listen, immigrants have destroyed New York. I've been in New York. The Dominicans, oh my God. New York don't even look like America. California, same thing. Immigrants have destroyed California. California is like a third world country. All the Hollywood people moved. They moved to Texas, everywhere. They all gone. That's why 50 left. Remember 50 left? Bought some land in Texas. Everybody had to leave. Because you bring in people that don't assimilate. They ruin your land. They ruin your city. They ruin your state. They ruin everything. And they disrespectful because how you gonna run from somewhere but then act like where you ran from is great? That don't even make sense to me. I used to look at Jamaica as crazy because you waving that Jamaican flag, but you in California. And it never made no sense to me. One reason, and as a Black American, they got that too. One reason that I was doing pretty well going to different states and cities, because I never be a Chicagoan in somebody else's city. When I lived in LA, I left Chicago in Chicago. I wasn't in LA representing no Chicago. That's disrespectful. And when I was in LA, I cheered for the Lakers and the LA teams. I did not cheer for Chicago teams when I lived in LA. Not at all. That's a fact. Anybody that know me that was there tell you. I didn't cheer for Chicago teams when I lived in LA. I'm in LA now. It's go Lakers. Period. LA is my home. I don't live in Chicago. That's how I was functioning. I didn't go there. And brothers used to irritate me. They'd be in LA, New York, Chicago, New York. I said, dang, bro, You bogus. You out of line. Why are you in these people's city hollering that like that? Go home. You look crazy. Anytime you repping somewhere you had to leave, you look crazy. You do. You're gonna love your city where you born at, but you ain't gonna go to no other city, no other country, no other state, hollering about the other place when you in they when you a guest in they home. That's disrespectful. And so a lot of immigrants that came to the United States and didn't leave their home over there, they got to go. Look at how them look at how them Somalians and Sudanese do your country when they come. Uh, some of them, some of them. I talked about that yesterday. I got a live yesterday. Go watch my live yesterday. I talked about that. I got a different reason for that than most people. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I think the ones that's getting the electric tag monitors are the ones they not going to deport. So I believe they're putting tag monitors on the one they want to stay. And if you ain't got that tag monitor, you're out of here. So I feel the tag monitor. Now I feel the tag monitor is because it's not legit for them to be. It's not that's not legitimate in terms of governing. That's not legitimate. Now in terms of just being emotional and stuff, yeah. But in terms of governing, no, I wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to do it either. You wouldn't be able to just throw. You wouldn't be able to deport all them people in them nursing homes and hospitals. It sound good, but if you look at it fiscally as a responsible government employee or a mayor, you wouldn't say that. You're not saying it as no mayor. You're just saying it as a person. As a mayor, and I got people in here changing bandages and making sure people's got medical care. I can't deport them people who are going to do the medical care. You can't replace medical workers overnight. But I mean it. You know, I mean realistically, you can't just throw out nurses and go outside and find no more nurses. So who's gonna change these bandages? Got to be changed 3 times a day, every day. So that's not realistic, right? That's just not realistic. Unless you could show me that realistic, unless you could type to me realistic, how you can throw away medical workers and still keep the medical center working. Because you can't just go outside and hire them. They got to have education. So I suspect people like that that's got jobs that can't be replaced, they're going to put them monitors on them so they don't get deported because you can't deport them. That's not really fiscally, that's emotionally. But I try not to just be talking. He might be trying to be on the real, like realistic. There's a bunch of Haitians you're not going to be able to put certain Haitians out. That's just not going to be possible at all. Especially those in the nursing homes, the old folks homes, and the hospitals, medical clinics. Nah, you got to put out people you can replace. When you start about talking about throwing out people you can't replace as doing emergency services, now you talk about a pandemic, maybe even an outbreak of a disease. Like who's going to change those bandages? So you know what I'm saying? And so I ain't gonna even debate that. You people even got the knowledge to understand that or not. That's nothing I could. Yeah, you not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't run. Definitely, you can't run no city. You can't do no type of professional city management of no type. But I don't want to talk about that no more. Chad, you're gonna irritate me if you keep on, because you're making foundational Black Americans look stupid. Like seriously. Like don't make us look stupid, bro. Make us still look intelligent. If there's people in there changing bandages, you saying the hell with the people that's getting their bandages. So if your mom was in the hospital right now, or your daughter, you saying you would be fine with the nurse getting deported that changed your daughter's bandages every day from a bad accident? Is that what you're saying? Like just stand on. That what you're saying? That if there was a nurse there and your mother had a bad wound, a bad sore that got to be changed 3 times a day, you would be fine with the hospital not having nobody there to do it because they done deported the nurses to do that. You'd be fine with that? Or a shortage where your mama can't get changed regularly because they had like 15 nurses and now they only got 7. You would be fine with that. Just give me a yes or no. You would be fine with that. Yes or no. Because like people like you, I don't really like you representing the FBA. I'm gonna tell you straight up, you bad for FBA to me. You misrepresenting. Yeah, you misrepresenting. You turning it into some bozo. Like you ain't standing on reparations and stuff. You standing on some tribal war stuff. You're not really standing on nothing. You know what I'm saying? You make us look bad. You know what I'm saying? We don't need foundational Black America. Now you ain't saying nothing. You talking stupid. You look stupid, bro. How many times I gotta tell you? You look stupid. Okay? You're not saying nothing. You was an idiot, bro. You look like an idiot. I'm trying to be nice, bro. You look like an idiot. Okay? And you make an FBA look like idiots. No, you cannot just have a shortage of firemen or nurses or doctors. Okay? I'll unblock you tomorrow. Some people just taking FBA and dudes like that ain't really standing on the FBA. He using it for like some gang banging beef and shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really standing on it. Totally uneducated for sure. And how could you be uneducated and unintelligent and help foundational Black Americans when you dumb as a rock? Any fool know you can't just go and deport a bunch of nurses. Well, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go and deport a bunch of nurses like that. No, it's good that happened because people need to see that too. It's good for people to see the intelligence side. It's good because you just can't. Even if there's people out there, you know how long it would take the hiring process. Like the hiring process is not. They're not coming tomorrow. Like you deport them today, everybody goes to work tomorrow. What the hell? I think it was good for the discussion because we got a lot of fake FBA posers that's using it to beef that ain't really standing on reparations like that. People like that. They misusing it and really it's like agents or something. People that's just jumping in it, not doing no research, not bringing no intelligence in it, just think it's to beef. You understand? And even if I'm foundational Black American and I'm older, and even when I talk to him, he negate listening, but he sway FBA. But FBA is talking to him. He not even listening to FBA. I'm FBA. See what I'm saying? So he's a fraud. Because if I'm FBA and I'm giving them knowledge and he love FBA, why he ain't listening to me? I'm clearly older than him. See what I'm saying? So he's a fraud because he ain't even listening. We ain't even brothers. See what I'm saying? What do you mean, FBA? If you FBA, stand down, soldier. Stand down. No, he's misusing it. And the reason that's very important because people like that are ruining everything. We got to shut that down. We cannot let no fools come over here and use that. We can't let nobody be just using FBA, misusing it, like turning it into some clown shit. That's what Shorty doing. He disrespectful. Just throw people out and run a country. Okay? So how you gonna help foundational Black Americans when you can't run no city? You ain't got no sense to run nothing. You know what I'm saying? That man, that boy couldn't run a dog pound. That's a decision Trump ain't gonna make. That decision is not gonna be made based on because you nurses. Okay, there we go again. That's not based on nurses could stay. That's based on which jobs can afford people to go and which one can't. So just that, you wrong too. Stay out my conversation, all right? Because you don't know what you're talking about either. Nobody said nurses could stay. I said they're going to have to make sure they don't have shortages in people that do certain jobs. I didn't say no blank statement about no nurses could stay. I ain't never said that. I said they can't throw nobody out that might have to change wounds. I was specific at the job that they can afford to not have. I didn't say nurses. I said they're not going to send nobody home that needs to be there to change wounds. Not what you just said. I was specific. And I was in the hospital stabbed up, and I had wounds that had to be changed 2 or 3 times a day, and they cannot send that lady home, and they do not have no replacement for that lady. Because, Mr. Good, you cannot do the job. So be quiet, because you can't do that job. And there's jobs that you just can't just find people to do every job. So you ain't going to be able to just throw people out that's got jobs that have to be done, no matter what the job is. If there's jobs that absolutely have to be done, and the Haitians doing it and there ain't nobody else to do it, they're going to get citizenship. Duh. Period. Now you can fill in the blanks of what's absolutely have to be done. That's common sense. They definitely have comprehension issues, and we got a bunch of frauds that's jumping in FBA to beef, Bobby. We've been this always like we got a bunch of people that's in it. They're not really in it for the intellectual side of it. They're not looking at. That's why, if you look, you see more FBA beefing than you see reparation conversations. I don't know if y'all noticed that. You see a whole bunch of people with the beefing, very few people pushing for the actual reparations, the intellectual side, because foundational Black Americans and delineation is for reparation. They trying to separate and make foundational Black Americans just for nothing. So it's people that's calling themselves FBA that don't realize that describing yourself as foundational Black American is specifically describing yourself as the one that's owed the reparation. That's the whole purpose of describing that we're the foundational Black Americans. We are the ones that been here since the Civil War, and we are the ones that are owed reparations. It's not to beef with who's foundational Black. That was not the purpose of identifying ourselves. But we got a lot of people jumped into it. They just want to do the beef side. And when they get tied to the reparation side, they going to disappear. Because they don't want to do the intellectual work. Because we got to get reparations. We're not trying to get FBA. We're not trying to get delineation. We delineate. We describe ourselves as foundational Black America. But the goal, what started all of this, was reparations. American descendants of slavery, foundational Black Americans, was born out of the fight for reparations. Period. And then, as we delineated, people started beefing with us. That's how the beef happened. When we delineated and said, no, we're specifically these people, this is when the Pan-Africans and the Africans and all them, they just started beefing with us when we separated ourselves. And a lot of that got to do because they not getting no reparations. So people like Dr. Umar is not owed no reparations. So he's like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing with the money anyway, but mess it up. But he took our money to build the school. So we have to be very careful not to let people turn FBA into no gang banging foolishness. Okay? To turn it into no clown stuff. Well, everybody got to get out. That's not the purpose. Like, that's not that. Okay? Okay. And you saying that in response to what? You see, this is what I'm talking about. Who said anything about giving anybody anything? See what I'm saying? This is what we got to clean that part up. Did anybody say we owed anybody anything? Like, what does that got to do with not throwing nurses out that got to change wounds? You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So we got a lot of work to do because we got a lot of people in this that really need to shut the fuck up and let the professionals handle it, to be honest with you. Oh, okay. You all good. You didn't know what we was talking about, right? So a lot of people, is really damaging but we're gonna stay on there. But a lot of people jumped into it. They like the beef side, not the work side. You know what I'm saying? See, the reparations is the work. You know what I'm saying? The reparations is the work. The FBI tribe banging, that ain't no work. Everybody want to do that part. Everybody gonna want to do that. We FBA, you ain't us, da da da. Everybody want to do that part. But the rolling up your sleeves and standing on the government and pushing for senators and congressmen to get a reparation bill, when we start doing that, a lot of these other people gonna disappear. They ain't gonna roll up their sleeve for the paperwork, because we want the paperwork done. We want the senators and congressmen and governors to look at the paperwork and write up that reparation proposal and chop that money out of the government and come up with how much those payments need to be. How many payments is it going to be? Who's going to do the research to find the lineage to know who to send the checks to? The FBA against tethers, that's necessary too. But let Tyreek do that, and the rest of us do the other work. Everybody don't, because Tyreek know how to do it. See, he knows what he's doing. See, he's not just attacking tethers; he attacking people that's attacking our reparations, and a lot of people don't understand what's going on with that. It's not just a blind attack on immigrants. It's immigrants that began to act funny when they thought we was going to get something that they wasn't going to get. It's people like over there in Africa where the Ghanaians talking about reparations, but they the ones got the slave castles. See, that's the tether fight right there. Because how Ghana gonna sit up here and say they want reparations, and Ghana got slave castles, and Ghana the one that sold slaves. When Ghana owes reparations, the Ghanaian government owes reparations. So how the hell Ghana want reparations? How the people that sold slaves want reparations? See, that's the tether fight. That's them tethering onto our fight. So back to what we was talking about, the benefits. The benefits that people say these immigrants got. Because I like to tell y'all the whole thing. I don't leave nothing out just because I don't, you know. So the benefits, rather than posing an economic burden, this is what they're saying. This is not what I'm saying. I'm reading to you what the other side is saying. This is not what I'm saying. This is what the other side is saying for people to get. I don't want y'all to get y'all pennies in a bunch. Rather than posing an economic burden, Haitian temporary protective status, TPS holders, generate a net economic benefit, contributing an estimated 5.9 billion to 6 billion annually to the US economy and paying over 1.5 billion in taxes. Right? Economic and tax contributions. Pay 805 million in federal and payroll taxes each year. This is what the Haitians are paying. Pay 755 million in state and local taxes each year. Include roughly 200,000 workers actively participating in the U.S. labor force. Critical workforce roles. File vital staffing needs with 1,500 agricultural workers. Provide essential care through 15,000, and this is 30. I don't know why I keep saying 1,500. 13,000 nurses. So once again, we read that again. File vital staffing needs with 15,000 agricultural workers, which a lot of Foundation Black Americans ain't gonna go out there and pick that fruit. Provide essential care through 13,000 nursing, assistant, and 8,000 home caregivers. Support key sectors like transportation, manufacturing, hospitality, and construction. Now, there's something negative in this because they're throwing the Haitians out. And if you see where it says field vital staffing needs with 15,000 agricultural workers, that's not a good thing because one reason they're getting rid of them, they're going to replace those jobs with robotics. Ain't nobody going to have them jobs because they got electronic watering systems. They got electronic little robots to put the fertilizer, to feed them, to plant the seeds. So they also don't need immigrants no more because they're going automation, which is going to affect us. They're not going to need a lot of us either. That's another video for another day. See, that's field vital staffing needs with 15,000 agricultural workers. They not sending them home unless they got a replacement. The question is the replacement going to be humans? No. So that's the benefits they're saying. Now the problems they saying is here. Claims 65% of Haitian TPS recipients receive welfare benefits. So they said 65% of them is on welfare. Republican Representative Chip Roy of Texas claimed in a speech on the House floor in April that 65% of Haitians here in America through TPS are on welfare. He made the same claim on June 27th, 2 days after the Supreme Court ruled, posting on X that 65% of the people who come here who are on TPS status are on welfare. The claim relies on data gathered about non citizen households that is not limited to TPS designees and ignores that such individuals are mostly ineligible for federal assistance. Roy is referencing a recent Center for the Immigration Studies report that analyzed data from the 2023-2025 Current Population Survey Annual Social and Economic Supplement and Annual U.S. Census Survey. CIS is a nonpartisan organization that advocates for lower immigration levels to the United States. The chart measures the percentage of non-citizens headed households that use one or more means tested public assistance program. So they beefing over, are they getting a lot of welfare or are they not getting a lot of welfare? I know they definitely are illegal immigrants, and a lot of immigrants, they definitely are draining the medical system and the welfare system. That is a fact. That these Hispanic people in California is going in for them free services and driving the country broke. This is a fact. They're draining the welfare. They're draining Medicaid, Medicare. They're draining all of the free services. They are definitely draining, including the places where people go to get free food, the pantries. The pantries are totally empty because when mostly white people and some black people, but it'd be mostly white Americans, would go in their little states or their little towns and they have the free food and line up. The lines are super long because it's a bunch of Hispanics in there. It's a bunch of Africans and a bunch of people that's not citizens in line getting the free food. New York, they've overrunning the apartments and everything. This is a fact. They're trying to pretend it's not a fact. And you can barely make any money. It's too many immigrants here, illegal ones. So this that they paying so much tax into the system, that's true, but how much taxes are they eating up? So I don't believe this is accurate. They're saying they paying 5.9 billion to 6 billion annually into the US economy. How much are they using up medical? How much they using up in the hospitals? When they go into the hospitals, they don't got no insurance to pay for that. So how much insurance, how much are they using up? Way more than no 8, 9 billion. You cannot tell me that illegal immigrants ain't blowing through trillions. Come on. Talk about that they pay 9 billion in taxes. They blowing, you cannot tell me they not blowing through trillions. They hoarding all the resources and blowing through trillions. And that ain't even talking about the gangs. They brought gangs here. They all don't work. They've been taking over homes, taking over buildings. Go take your house you got for sale, change the locks, and move in there. It take you 4 months to get them out. Squatting in homes, car theft through the roof, legal guns everywhere. Not to mention substances, illegal substances all over the place. Prostitution through the roof. When the Venezuelans came up here a few years ago, in many places in Chicago, there would be a woman. And a lot of times it'd be like a woman. It would be an older woman, like in her late 40s. Then there would be a younger woman, look like she like 26. Then there would be a boy, but the boy looked like he was too old to be the son of the 26-year-old and too young. They looked like Mitch Mac, Paddywhack, Give a Dog a Bone. It used to be fake families. They did not really look like families standing around on the north side of different stuff, like begging. And then the women, they look like they'll get in a car. They look like they would prostitute. They would be at the Whole Food parking lot. They would be wherever people walking around. And definitely there was a lot of prostitution going on, for sure. For sure you could sleep with them young ones, for sure. Them ones like 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. And there, definitely they was prostituting them girls. You could tell. The way they was doing it is they won't say nothing to you. You had to approach them. You could tell. You could tell. Next thing you know, we got the Trinitarians and all them running around here. We got all kind of new gangs and stuff here running around. Gang violence through the roof. Yeah, they draining all the resources. 100% they draining all the resources meant for people that pay taxes in the country. For sure. And they everywhere. Because when they came across, like the Venezuelans and them, when they came across, the government in Texas sent them up Chicago, New York, like that. And when the winter came, they left. It was too cold. Man, they all over the country. People was like, they're going to take over Chicago. I was like, no, they not. They're going to come to your city. The governor sent them here. They didn't want to come here. When the governor sent all them Venezuelans to Chicago, them Venezuelans was freezing. One of my brethren from social media, Posse, came up. We went to the beach. The beach was full of them. The Black Beach, Bongo Beach, was full of Venezuelans. Posse went on back home. About a month later, I went to the beach. It wasn't a Venezuelan nowhere. I said, Posse, they gone. He said, where they went? South, where it's warmer. They all over this country. We had buildings in Chicago. They've been raiding buildings. Like, you know, it'd be apartment units, these big apartment complexes, and it's a bunch of apartments not fixed. They was just in there living, changed the locks and was living. They had to go kick the doors down. They illegally living everywhere. Now the Haitians, I don't know. I don't know where they at. I don't know what they doing. But I know this. They getting them all out of here. They getting them out of here. Because we can't afford to feed those people. We can't afford to feed all those people like that. We can't afford. It's going to be some serious situations, and they're going to send them to foreign countries, African countries, everything. They have made deals to house illegal immigrants. And if people don't stand on that that situation, it's going to get out of hand. Yeah, they beg all day. It's going to be out of hand. The Democrats ain't that smart. They thought they was going to get votes, but they brought in a bunch of people that don't live within the system. They not going to vote. They don't let them people destroy New York. Watch what I'm telling you. If they don't get that mayor out of there and clean New York up, New York is going to be destroyed. Times Square and all that's going to be destroyed. Ain't nobody going to come there to watch no play, no opera, none of that. It's going to be like a third world country. Seriously. This ain't no joke. It's an invasion. I ain't lying. It's an invasion. And so I'm covering this. And young people, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hold on to your seats. Because if you young, if you're in your 20s and 30s, even in your 40s, you're going to be telling your grandkids about this. Because this finna be something. And I was born in 1958. This is going to be something Americans ain't never seen before. Americans have never seen what y'all about to see. And for young people, when the government say they're going to throw some people out and they give you a date that's going to start, and then it's quiet, you know what that means. Boom, surprise, you know what it means. So my thoughts is calling them people in, putting them ankle monitors on them. They don't got a lot of ankle monitors, right? So it don't make sense that they're going to put ankle monitors on the people they're going to deport because they don't got enough. The smallest group is going to be the ones they're not going to deport. I personally believe they putting ankle monitors on the ones that they don't want ICE to grab. So I believe the ankle monitors mean that you're cooperating, because you would have to be cooperating to have the ankle monitor. So I personally believe those people that's being given the ankle monitor are the ones they're not going to grab. Those are absolutely necessary workers. Some of them probably been here 10 years. Mommy been a nurse for 10 years. I'm not into no throw no lady out. Been here 8 years, 10 years, been a nurse, never bothered nobody, paid her taxes and all that. Hey, she got the right. If she here, help her get her citizenship. She not hurting me none. She not hurting me. You understand? Now, I'm against some of you foundational Black Americans that's being too cruel, because when you be too cruel, then you chant down darkness on yourself. Okay? You see Washington, Spokane is on fire. You see that. You see a couple other states on fire. You see Europe, 5 countries on fire. So we don't want to be chanting no karma on ourselves where we being unnecessarily cruel to some human beings. It just be like, can't nobody come here and get a better life. I ain't going to say that. I'm just saying they got to do it in a way where it don't drain the country, and they got to know who's here. They got to know who here. I feel like if you've been here 7 years working, not getting in no trouble, paying your taxes, I feel like let you stay and get them scumbags that's running around here, because you know they here. And it's going to be a whole lot of scumbags. It ain't going to be a whole lot of decent people. So them people y'all want to get out, them gonna be the scumbags. Them gonna be the ones in gangs. Them gonna be the ones doing stuff they ain't got no business. That's a fact. But as far as just just throwing out black people because they're Haitians, I ain't really with that like that. Just overdoing it. But once your temporary status is over, I feel like if you're not really old or you're not an essential worker, you got to go. You got to go. A teacher, you got to go. To me, the only ones that should be allowed to stay is the essential health workers, the ones that people life in their hand, that the job that you can't replace real quick. Let them stay. Don't be throwing out nobody that's changing bandages and stuff. Like I said, I've been in the hospital, and they got jobs in the hospital where you can't miss 5 hours. Like you got to change Mr. Johnson's Band-Aid at 6 in the morning, at 11, you know what I'm saying? At 6 in the evening, at 11 at night, all around the clock, like real talk. So there's no room to throw out the people at the hospital that got to do those type of jobs. Don't throw them out. I had a fool come over here, throw everybody out. I'm like, okay, see, you lack some type of professionalism. We got people doing jobs that can't be replaced like that. Like we got jobs that if you want to replace, seriously, it's going to take 3 years, 4 years. You could begin to replace them in like 6 months, but for all those jobs to be replaced, you're looking at 4 to 7 years, 8 years. Them people got to get training. They let people in, and the Democrats just let them stay, basically. What happened to America? Yeah, 3 to 4 years for certification. What happened to America, y'all? The reason it got like this, because the Democrats let people stay for votes. They didn't let them stay because they was helping the country. Let's just be honest. The Democrats started letting anybody stay to get votes because the Republicans would always get the majority of the white vote. The Democrat would get the black votes, but the Democrat lost a lot of the black votes because they disrespected black people. So now the Democrats wanted to they lost the foundational Black American vote, so they've gone for the immigrant vote. It wasn't no accident that Biden them let all them Venezuelans. That was for votes for the Democratic Party. It had nothing to do with nothing but that. But that's it. That's the only reason all them immigrants, that's the only reason all them Haitians was here. The Democrats let them stay for votes. It wasn't for help for them or none of that. That's all a lie. The Democratic Party sold the country out for votes. That's a fact. Because the Democrats got to find votes. The Republicans ain't got to find votes. The Republican vote is white. The majority of the country is white. So Republicans are straight. The Democrats got to find votes based on issues like gay, right, minority, right, women's rights. The Democrats got to get their votes from that kind of stuff. The Republicans get their vote white. You know what I'm saying? And the country majority white. The gays got rights now, so they can't get the gay vote no more. All them white gays vote Republican now. I'm gay now, I'm free. Republican. You know what I'm saying? Them gays used Obama to get in there. You know what I'm saying? The gays used Obama to get in there, and then once they got their rights, they was like the hell with Obama and the Democrats. They went back white Republicans. They gay now, they got their rights. They don't got to vote a Democrat no more. So now the Democrats need some new issues. So they done flooded California with Hispanics. The Democrats sold black people out for Hispanics and Asians and foreign Africans. But the Democrats don't want to help the Haitians because the Haitians snaked the Democrats and a lot of Haitians voted Republican. Straight up. But the Republicans, so they say, well, if a lot of Haitians vote Republican, why are the Republicans throwing them out? Because the Republicans need the white vote and the white people want them out. The white American country want their white country back. They don't want all these foreigners here. So Trump like, I know y'all voted for me, but they say y'all got to go. You know what I'm saying? Basically, y'all ain't noticed that. Y'all ain't seen that. That a lot of Haitians supported Trump, but that's a small amount of vote. You know what I'm saying? It's 240, 250 million white people in this country. So if white people say they got to go, Trump like, I know y'all voted for me, but they say y'all got to get out, man. That's what's happening. Trump like, I used to F with y'all. I F with y'all, but the 200-some million say you got to get out. See, let me explain. Here go Trump. I'm Trump talking to the Haitian. To all my Haitian people in America. I don't know how to tell you this, but y'all black. And y'all got to get y'all black ass out of here. Now, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here because these white Republicans, you know what I'm saying? That's what's really going on. The white Republicans is like, nah, they got to go. They got to go. They got to get them out. They got to go. You know, Trump did all that. They was eating cats and all that, scared them white people to death. Which, when they talk about the Haitians eating the animals, see, people took that out of proportion. See, these people come from Haiti. They come from a third world country. So they eat geese and stuff like that. So it's not like nothing was wrong with them, but they was living the way they always live, which looks strange to us. We go to the market, right? We go to the market. They don't. So when they came up here and they seen all them animals, that's food in Haiti. So it's not like the Haitians that was eating them animals was doing nothing weird. They wasn't doing nothing weird. They was doing a culture. So that wasn't weird. See, that used to be American culture, but they changed it. See, my daddy from Alabama, my daddy used to eat rabbits, snakes. My daddy, snake tastes just like chicken, right? And it tastes just like chicken. So you got to understand that Americans, just a generation before me, ate just like the Haitians. In Alabama and Mississippi, North and South Carolina, yeah, you went out in the woods and you shot stuff and you ate it. All kind of stuff. Ask you, if you got great-grandparents, ask them. They're going to say, yeah, they ate frog, they ate snake, all the birds, they could, whatever bird, gator. They would eat the doves, pigeons, definitely. 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 The Haitians wasn't doing what the Haitians was doing is American history. They just banned it. And my granddaddy seen a bunch of big old swans in the pond. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for the Haitians. Because to us, the swans in the pond look different. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny, but it is funny. Think about two different mindsets. So we Americans, we walk, we see a pond at the hospital, we see swans, we like, oh, that's pretty. But we from Haiti, I see a swan in the pond. Hey man, we finna cook dude. I don't know. I ain't American. Know what I'm saying? That's food. So Americans is like, that's horrible. Not really. That's why different cultures, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta integrate cultures in. So the young Americans don't know. But I bet you it wasn't no old Americans. They didn't flicker. I guarantee you. Listen, when they said they was eating them doves and stuff, and them big, what's the big swans and all that? I tell you this, and ducks. I tell you this. I'm 68. Anybody now around 78, 80 that seen that, they didn't even blink. It didn't even sound crazy to them. They just said, "Oh, they don't know where they at. They don't know. We ain't got sophisticated." When I was growing up, we would have ate everything out there. My daddy would have ate every boy. Listen, all that, all that. My daddy used to gross me and my sister out talking about the stuff he ate. I remember one time my daddy told me and my sister, "Snake, you ate a snake, you skin him, you eat him." We like, oh, he like, it tastes just like chicken. That's what he said. Me and my sister say, boy, you nasty. You know what I'm saying? We looking at my daddy like, boy, I don't know. What? All of that. All of that. He from Alabama. In Alabama. He born in Alabama in the 30s. So that wasn't as bad as they made it. Oh, the Haitians eating the swans and the ducks. That wasn't as bad. That was generational confusion. They showed the Haitian. Y'all seen the Haitian with the swan, I think, or the duck. They showed them they had caught it. They was happy. So they used that like, oh, they gotta get out of here. That's just horrible, right? That's just horrible. But it really, nobody put it in perspective. Trump get up there, they're eating our cats, they're eating our dogs. You know what I mean? At that point, they was out of here. They didn't demonize the poor Haitians. You know what I mean? They didn't demonize them, so they gonna throw them out. But I feel like the Haitians made a mistake and they just made a bad mistake. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Haitians didn't use all this time and go legal. That's why I really had no sympathy for them. It's like, bruh, how y'all were here 15, 18 years and y'all didn't go do y'all paperwork? Because like some Haitians did their paperwork and they legal. Yeah. Some Haitians that been here under the same thing they was under TPS. Some of them Haitians went and became legal, baby. So the ones that didn't, they definitely got to get out. Because we got enough welfare losers, American welfare losers. We don't need no Haitian welfare losers. These is welfare losers. Anytime you just sit back and you don't go get your paperwork together, do now, in some cases, I'm wrong. Now, let me clarify that. Because you got Haitians that was here since they're like 4 years old. So if I'm here since I'm 4 years old and I get, 20, I don't know nothing about I was supposed to get no paperwork, in all fairness. So a lot of Haitians, they don't know they're supposed to get no paperwork because it is America's fault because America never broadcast that. Hey, Haitians, go get your paperwork. Time running out. I ain't seen no commercials like that or no statements like that. So they kind of left the Haitians just sitting there like that. And then Trump got in there and said, "Oh, y'all got to get out like that." So it is kind of unfair. I ain't gonna lie. It is kind of unfair because they was never really. They should have been told they gonna have to get out a couple years ago. But I'm biased, so I ain't really fair a good person to judge the Haitians. Because I was like, yeah, get y'all ass out, because the lady said, called us dirty black Americans. So once she called us dirty black Americans, I kind of felt like this was her karma. So I was like, see, that's what your black ass get out, right? So that's why I ain't really anti throwing them out because I'm petty, to be honest with you. Sometimes I feel guilty, like, yeah, I shouldn't do the Haitians like that because of her. I be thinking about that. Because that's the main reason I was like, yeah, get y'all ass out. Who you calling dirty black Americans? Well, my thing is, they said that's just one lady. Yeah, but black Americans is all of us. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of look at it like karma. Like, what's the odds that she gonna say that and now they got to get out? See, that's what you get when you evil and you don't move right. See, that what happened. And the same thing can happen to Foundation of Black Americans if you go too far with the Haitians and go overboard and we look up and something bad happened to this country and we be up here messed up. So, let's not go too far, because you reap what you sow, you know what I mean? So I ain't trying to cheer. Yay, y'all got to get out. I ain't really on that type of time because black Americans, we really wasn't paying no attention to no Haitians. And for a lot of Haitians to be mad at us, like me, I'm just covering the story. We never really was pushing for y'all to get out. We didn't even know y'all had to get out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where you live at, princess? Where you live at? Because I live in Chicago, so I don't know much about Haitians. So any of y'all live around Haitians, give us some feedback. Because, Chicago won't live around Haitian. And then Chicago different. Chicago's real gangster and real serious gangs. We don't got no Haitians here. Where the Haitians here at? Where the Haitians at? We got Haitians here? Where the Haitians at in Chicago? Princess? You mean online? They got to be online because ain't no Haitians tripping in Chicago. Are they? I looked it up. They said they mostly live in the suburbs. The Princess? Where the Chicago Haitians at? But that's why we don't be knowing certain stuff because people don't play with us. We got too many gangs in Chicago. Haitians can't really talk crazy in Chicago, so I'm kind of tripping. They used to be over by Exchange. Oh yeah, Exchange and what? Used to be. Exchange and what? What in exchange? I ain't even know. What in exchange? A lot of them? I don't know. On 77th in exchange? Over there by G Herbo and them, over there where they be at? Like over there, who over there? Hold on. 77th exchange. What? Chicago gangs are around 77, and I ain't been outside like that. Let me see who over there. Oh, they over there. Okay, it's everybody over there. The Blackstones over there, the GDs over there, the BDs over there, and the foes over there. Mm-hmm. They had a little club. Oh, back in the 90s. Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say, I ain't back in the 90s. Okay. Back in the 90s. Okay. Okay, back in the 90s. That's why I don't know. Oh, okay. I didn't know they was over there. I don't know who used to be over there. Them gangs I said they wasn't over there like that then. So I don't know who was over there like that then. I don't think it was no foes over there then. I think over there then, I think it was mostly Blackstones and GDs. I don't think it was no BDs over there back then either. Not over there. I don't know. Wow. You say you had friends that dated them and both of them is crazy. Wow, I didn't know they was over there. Interesting. But you know, Princess, the east side is dipped off. So, if you're in Chicago, you actually got to beat over there to know what's going on over there. Yeah, I remember the steakhouse. You said they all came to Miami. Now, I knew they was in Miami big because they was in Miami when I came down there to try to get some work. Wow. I didn't know they was over there. They didn't cause no problems, or we would have knew about it. Hmm. Interesting. A lot of blacks that live around them don't like it. Like in Miami, they don't like them. The black Americans in Miami don't like them. Because it's like, I think when the Haitians came to Miami, they got bullied as kids, New York too. So they grew up and now they don't like, they hate black Americans and vice versa, I think. I think Tony Yayo Haitian, right? Tony Yayo Haitian, right? I ain't had no experience with no Haitians, but I do know that temporary mean temporary, and they definitely gonna throw you out. You done had like millions of babies over here. It's too many babies, anchor babies, and they just made too many mistakes. When they was up in New York and they started fighting with the police, it's over for 'em, you know. Like a lot of black immigrants, they over here, but they don't know nothing about TV, radio, social media. They don't understand how that shit go in America. And once them Haitians start fighting them police in New York, it's a wrap. It ain't gonna be a Haitian nowhere in New York. It ain't gonna be no Haitian in Springfield unless you get a pass from the government. They put that monitor on you, they're gonna leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really had no beef with them. They didn't come to the reggae spots, not that I know of. They ain't come around the Jamaicans. I know why. Chicago, the black immigrants in Chicago that really was bossing in was the Jamaicans. But the Jamaicans and the Africans got into it because the Jamaicans was robbing the Africans because the Africans had that H. You know what I'm saying? And the Jamaicans would rob the Africans for the H. So it's still a few of them live over there. Yeah, I ain't never had no. I never had no contacts with no Haitians or no problems with them. I think they stay up to themselves. They ain't got no gang. They got a gang. Let me see. Let me see what they is though. A lot of times you be thinking they black Americans. Chicago Haitians are not a part of any specific local street gang in Chicago. Uh, they ain't in no gang. Media reports discuss several gang control in Haiti capital. Okay, but Haitians in Chicago are not a part of any specific local gangs. The Haitian community in Chicago is a law-abiding immigrant and cultural population rather than a group tied to organized crime and local gangs. I thought so. I ain't really known about the Haitians to be involved. They be like regular hard-working people. You know what I'm saying? They mind their business. I thought so. I ain't never heard no Haitians have no problem. That's why I say I ain't never been anti-Haitian. Chicago, if we knew about Haitians, Chicago would have been pro-Haitian because of DuSable. But I got to do a whole live on that because that's misinformation when they say a Haitian discovered Chicago DuSable because DuSable wasn't no Haitian. His mama wasn't no Haitian. She was an African slave and his daddy was white. So they trying to call him a Haitian because his mama was in Haiti. But I question how you a Haitian if you a slave from Africa. Like you wouldn't be able to be no Haitian for at least 3 or 4 generations. You know what I'm saying? So technically, DuSable was mixed. He was a Frenchman with an African mother. He ain't no Haitian. I'm gonna do a whole live on that for the record, so I could be the one set the record straight. Because they always told us he was a Haitian. He ain't no Haitian. His daddy was a white Frenchman. His mom was an African slave. So how you Haitian? Nobody in his family was no Haitian. No, that's already been looked into. 50 Cent, 100% FBA. Tony Yayo Haitian. 50, 100% FBA. Mm-hmm. Tony Yayo Haitian, but I don't do I don't do hate on blacks like that. I don't do that. I don't do no hate on no type of blacks. I don't really get into that. I criticize Africans and I'll criticize different blacks, but I'm not into just disliking uh no kind of black. And I'm not into no blacks gonna take over, but that's because I'm in Chicago. They ain't taking over nothing here. So they're not a threat in Chicago either. Chicago, two black and two FBA, like F to the B to the all the way A on my soul. You know what I'm saying? You ain't taking over shit. This guy. Good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a dude, I think he was Haitian. So he said, so what does Chicago? That's what he said. He was like, you got Haitians here and stuff. He said, what y'all got in Chicago? I said, we got it. Well, we got BDs, GDs, Vice Lords, Blackstones, and Four Corner others. What is that? Hey, FA and FO. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can tell you. Hey, you don't want to know, player. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to know, player. That's all we got. That's all we got, player. Yeah, that's all we got. In the rack, on 49 grade. Yeah, that's all we got, player. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We run this here for the black side. The black immigrants, they go up on the north side and out now suburbs and stuff like that. We got a lot of jobs. What he say then? He just laughed. He said, bro, you crazy. What else he gonna say? He know I ain't lying on 49 grade. He did ask me, he said, so you don't got no? I said, we got Latin Kings. we got Latin Kings. We got some. I mean, who say the most disrespectful stuff about FBA? Who be doing that? They be on the internet. They don't be outside saying that. They be on the internet. The internet not real Southern breeze. If they don't say it outside, it's make believe. It's make believe. Don't y'all listen to the internet. If they don't say it outside, it's make believe. That be make believe. Haters, jealous, but don't y'all get into that. Don't y'all get into the group banging. We are focused on our reparations and stuff like that. And if they don't bother us, we don't care. Africans and Caribbeans. I mean Caribbeans, like I say, the internet don't count. Yeah, the internet don't count. They don't say nothing bad. They type bad stuff about us. You know what I mean? They type bad stuff about us. Don't get caught slipping on them. Man, listen. A black immigrant? Hold on. Uh, I'm more worried. They say, Fred, what are you worried? I'm worried about a dude in front of me walking out of the store. I'm walking out the store behind him. His ops see him. They come up with the thing with the switch because they don't aim, and I get hit while they aiming that dude. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about who's standing next to me and they ops seeing them in the real Chicago. In the real Chicago, hey, one day I was driving down the freeway, right? And I was in the middle, I was in this lane, and it's cars in this lane and cars in that lane. It's 4 lanes, but I was in the second one from the inside, right? So I'm driving. So I see this car like pull up and slow down and pull up and slow down. Like, what the hell is he doing? And then when I look over this way, I see this car pull up. I see the window go down. I see the thing come out the window. Because they want to air out the car on the other side of me. I'm right here, and they beefing, and it's really real. I had to on the freeway. The good thing wasn't nobody close behind me. I had to stop and let them go, and then they start. Hey man, they wasn't gonna wait for me to get out the way. They weren't gonna wait for me to get out the way. Hell no, they weren't. One time I was on the train though, and I know there was some Venezuelans, and I always get on the ladies, the princess. When you get on the train, when you get on the L train, all the way walk all the way down, so you get on the first one where the conductor's at, and go sit next to the conductor. So I always get on the first car. So I was sitting on the first car. I thought for sure I was going to prison or something, or be on the news. So I'm sitting on the first car. I see these three Venezuelans. They come from the last train to my train. They walking, they looking at me, and I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna be on the news. But they stayed down there. That was messed up. I was gonna Venice Day Swayler. Oh, for them. I was gonna Venice Day down. I'm thinking, oh damn, I'm trying to avoid problems, you know what I'm saying? But they was not, but listen, they was not, if they would have started walking too close, I would have had to make a decision. I would have had to Venice Day Swayler. I sure was ready to Venice Day Swayler, but they didn't Swayler Day Venice. They never Swayler Day Venice. So I never had the Venice Day Swayler. That was good. Because I was like, see, y'all done messed all the way up. Y'all done got on the wrong train with the right one. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done messed up y'all whole life. Y'all done got on the wrong train. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way up here by the conductor. I'm trying to avoid problems. You know what I'm saying? They didn't come. That's the only time it seemed like it was gonna be a close call for the Vinnies and the Swaleys. Look like they came like this, clap this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, because we try not to do no violence, no nothing. Young people, you don't want no violence, you don't want no trouble. You're trying to avoid violence, you're trying to avoid trouble, you're trying to avoid prison. You don't want to be throwing your life away. You only want to do something when you're trying to save your life. That's it. You don't want to be starting nothing. You don't want to be hurting people. You don't want to live that life. You want to be able to walk the street without having to look over your back. I could walk all over Chicago. I don't got to look over my back. Typically, the only time you might got to look over your back if you with a female, because some of these dudes, when they break up with a female, they be all emotional. You know what I'm saying? They want to hurt you over a female. You ain't even got nothing to do with them breaking up. But other than that, you just have to look out for miscellaneous crimes, pretty much. But we're going to watch this story, y'all. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share, hit the notification bell, because notifications ain't been going out. If you ain't been getting your notification, hit the bell and then hit it again. And really watch this story, because this could be one of the biggest stories in U.S. history. And if they go out here and they really try to grab, and they grab 200, 350 Haitians, it's going to be deep. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm not talking about it because I want it to happen. I'm talking about it because I believe This is going to be one of the biggest stories of U.S. history, and I'm covering it every day. I'm watching it because it's really historical. It's historical, and it's going to be the start of a whole new situation. The reason I'm saying that, think about it. They start doing ice, right? Then ice had the problems up in Minnesota, and some people got hurt, right? And that's when they had the little short white dude, right? Then they kind of looked like they shut ice down. Then after a while, Tom Holman came back. And then since Tom came back, they've been grabbing people on the low low. Like they got somebody watching you when you come out the house and they grab you at the gas station. Nobody know you even getting grabbed. So they grabbing people on the low low. Right? And so now they talk about moving on these Haitians and it's real quiet. And that's why I said they giving out them ankle monitors, I believe, to show ICE don't grab the ones with the monitor. The monitor mean they've been checking in. That's what I believe. I believe the ankle monitor mean them ones been checking in. They cool. They going through the process. That's what I believe the ankle monitor mean. Because it don't make no sense because they ain't got enough ankle monitors for everybody they going to grab. So they got to be using them for the less number. And the less numbers is the one they ain't going to grab. So that's why when ICE pull up, you got the ankle monitor, they leave you alone. Okay, you already in the system. We grabbing all y'all ain't in the system. Your ass going to Somalia, so your ass going to, boy, they finna send them. Man, they finna send them. The Trump administration have made deals with foreign countries to house illegals. It's real serious. And for people that don't know, when you're dealing with the Babylon system and they get quiet, it's a problem. See how quiet it is on immigration? It's going to be like an NWA record. ICE will clean up Chicago. Yeah, kind of. But it ain't really nothing to clean up in Chicago like that. Chicago don't really have a really bad immigrant problem like you probably think. They mostly gonna be they main targets for ICE. The main targets for ICE is gonna be California in time for the Olympics, Springfield, New York, Miami. There's really not nothing to clean up in Chicago. You got to go study. You got to go study, bro. Chicago don't really have a bad immigrant problem like that. The Venezuelans all left. You got to go study. You know, what's your name? Good energy. Yeah, but you got to do good research. Chicago doesn't really have a serious immigrant problem. Not like that. They all left, bro. All them Venezuelans they left. It's too cold. It got too cold. They can't. It's a few here though. But we don't got a lot of Haitians. We don't hardly got no Haitians in Chicago. Oh, okay. You just trolled. I thought you were serious. I didn't know you was just a stupid troll. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I thought you was serious. I didn't know you was just a bozo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get a life, bro. Trolling. Yeah. I'm gonna unfollow you, but when you come back, be intelligent, bro. Don't be over here. You know what I'm saying? South Shore got some over there that's popping their head out there. Grab them. But for sure, their target is going to be Springfield. Their targets are going to be other smaller cities where it's a lot of them at. But their main targets is going to be New York, Los Angeles, for sure. Springfield is just going to be practice. Los Angeles, they got to clean it up for the Olympics. It's going to be ugly in LA for the Olympics. New York, because the Haitians start fighting the police. If you know anything about law enforcement in America, they hold a serious grudge. They're going to hit them Haitians so hard in New York, it's going to be just because they was fighting. They're going to come through Chicago, but it's not the migrant problem ain't that big like that in Chicago. The migrants, they over there, but they kind of stay out the way. The gangs and the migrants, the gangs are hurt the migrants. The Chicago gangs are hurt the migrants. I'm gonna just keep it real. The Chicago gangs are hurt the migrants. Really, they not built like that. I'm gonna just tell you, they do not want that smoke. I can tell you that for sure. The migrants do not want no smoke with no GDs or no BDs. I can tell you that for sure. Anybody in Chicago tell you that. They do not want that problem. I'm telling you. This ain't LA. See, the LA gangs already was getting punked by the Hispanic gang. So that's why they out there, they'll go out there in LA and do whatever. But the gangs in Chicago, I can't see the migrants beefing with. I can't see that one. That would be the stupidest thing they could have ever did. I ain't gonna lie. That'd be dumb as hell. For real. On behalf of the migrants, that would be dumb. To me, that would be absolutely dumb. That would be something I would advise them, but don't do that. They going to New York because they was fighting the police. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Haitians fighting the police? And then they going because they hate that mayor. That mayor trying to make it a migrant city. They gonna oh they ain't sure no more. Oh here you go. Haitian versus ICE agents in Brooklyn. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? The way America worked though, they're gonna hit so hard, everybody gonna run. They're gonna run. They gonna ICE is gonna hit so hard, immigrants gonna run. They're gonna leave. They're gonna go to Canada. They're gonna fly up out of here. Watch. It's gonna be quiet. They're not gonna take that chance. They're gonna be gone. A lot of them gone already. They leaving Florida left and right. Dudes ain't even got nobody working they restaurants down in Florida. Haitians is fleeing Florida right now as we speak. Yeah, Haitians is up out of Florida. I'm telling you, go look it up. They up out of there. Trust me when I'm telling you. However many Haitians was in Florida 2 months ago, it ain't that many today. They gone. Watch. Y'all ain't seen dude lost them workers at his restaurant? Dude right here, Chef Creole. Look, Chef Creole lost all his workers right here. Chef Creole owner says end of Haitian TPS protection has driven up labor costs. Just 5 days ago, all his workers vanished, gone. He got to go fight other workers. Go watch it. WPLG Local 10. That was just 5 days ago. Yep, closed dude down. He said he can't work with nobody there. He ain't the only one. Businesses that rely on Haitian workers with temporary protective status are beginning to feel the impact as employees leave. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They got to go. It's gonna be popping in Florida. It's gonna be some jobs in Florida. Cause they ain't gonna leave. All the other illegals gonna leave too. Everybody like Florida gonna be black back FBA and some Hispanics that got legal citizenship. If you ain't got legal citizenship, you're gonna be gone. You ain't gonna see a Haitian flag nowhere in a few months. They want to throw them out there. They got a bad reputation. You know what I'm saying? They put the bad reputation on them. You know what I mean? Yep. And they be gang banging down there. I'm covering it. It's gonna be crazy. Y'all stand by. I'm not really cheering against no body, so I don't really have no dog in the fight unless Black Americans is living somewhere where immigrants are causing them a problem. Definitely L.A. Definitely they got to get them out of L.A. because the blacks in L.A. they got the black gangs is trying to unite because they got to go to war with all these Hispanic and they got these Asian gangs, these illegal gangs in L.A. So I'm cheering for the blacks in L.A. They going through hell. They going through hell with all them illegal Hispanics and illegal Asians. You know what I mean? They really catching it. They really catching it in L.A. They let L.A. get out of hand. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what y'all was thinking. Y'all should have been super reinforced that border. Like you can't be on the border and they got prisons in South and Central America where they got weapons. They got guns in the prison. They having shootouts in the prison, the gangs. So if LA don't be careful, they too close to South and Central America. They don't be careful. California gonna get overran. They're gonna have to bring the real U.S. military in Cali if they don't get some control. So that's gonna be a hot spot because the Olympics coming. Boy, that's gonna be something else. Y'all hang on to your seats. It's crazy, but don't be out here hating on. Don't be hating individual immigrants. They're trying to come to a country, trying to eat, trying to survive. We just against the crime. We ain't really against the immigrants at the same time. The idea that everybody can come and eat is foolishness. We can only accommodate so many people. So some of these people that be talking about they for immigration and they just want amount of people that come that your economy or your social system can't accommodate. You a fool. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got the transportation, the hospitals, and the resource to accommodate people, you sound like a damn fool just wanting a lot of people to come with no accommodations. So we do got a lot of fools out here that don't really know nothing. You know what I'm saying? We do got that. They couldn't run a Barbie doll house. They couldn't even take care of a doll house, not alone a real country. You can't just let everybody in your country. They're gonna have to have exact numbers. This many come in, stop. This many come in, stop. You can't just have, they're gonna destroy your country. You ain't gonna have no country. That's like a mother, she got 3 kids she's struggling to feed. She let 2 more kids come move with her. That's America right now. America can't even feed the kids they got. And you let more people coming in. Dumbest thing ever. Because you got a bunch of politicians getting rich and they supposed to be the senators and congressmen and they ain't minding the store. And when they get through playing and drinking and partying and look up, the whole country be gone. That's what's going on. Your politicians ain't politicking. Straight up. Support the channel. Victory.